Welcome back, and today we are going to be taking a look at the new J-15T for the Chinese tech tree. And on paper, this thing looks pretty damn good. We have the same thrust or more than the Su-30. We have PL-12As instead of PL-12s. And we have the flanker flight model, which actually nowadays is pretty damn good. So what else could go wrong that makes this thing kind of DOA to kind of mid? You already know what it is, but I just want to put a little bit of nuance on this topic, because we all know that 48 countermeasures just really isn't enough. Everything I just said, well, it's a little bit clickbaity, because let me explain why that is. We have the PL-12 and the PL-12A. Now you might think, like I did when I booted up the game before I actually looked at these missiles, well, maybe this is like the R77-1. No. That's not what's going on. The PL-12 and the PL-12A are vastly the same. The only difference here is that we get an extra guidance type, we get GNSS, and on top of that we get a whopping 40 extra kilometers on the launch range. No, this doesn't increase the effective range. What happened is they increased the battery life, so now it can fly for a little bit longer. But how often do these two things come into play? Not very often. So we are essentially just looking at, again, a PL-12A that is marginally, although very rarely actually measurably better. That's a lot of E sounds, but I hope I made my point. The next issue that I have for this plane is you cannot swap out the PL-8s. PL-8Bs are pretty damn good. The issue is that you do not want to get within IR range in a plane that only has 48 countermeasures. Having to bring 4 is a little bit of an L, because you are barely ever going to be using this if you're not gonna die right after. Next up, what I just mentioned was the engines. We are looking at 13,790 kilogram force of thrust. Now it looks like that is quite a decent amount, because if you look at the SMT, you can see that that is the same. The issue is that the thrust curves, it basically makes it only have more power on absolute sea level, meaning it doesn't really come into play all that often. On top of it, the plane that we have here, the J-15, it's essentially a J-11B with 2 tons extra, a little bit more thrust, but the thrust to weight is about the same. You can argue that it's a little bit better, but overall it flies like a fat J-11B, and this wouldn't be an issue if, again, we didn't have 48 countermeasures. And yes, the rest of this video won't have sound, because, well, the sound didn't work, did impair my ability to play a little bit, but in the video that I'm going to be showing you, I'm not going to die to it. That did happen off screen a couple of times, because I had a miserable experience. What is wrong with the J-15? Well, it's the combination of multiple things. It's mainly the countermeasures, but let's go one by one. We need to bring 4 IR missiles, but we can't get close because we only have 48 countermeasures. We have a good flight model, but it doesn't matter, at least not in a dogfight, because we don't have enough countermeasures. We have good missiles, but they don't really have that good of a range together with the top speed of this plane, meaning we have to get closer, which is something you don't want to do because we only have 48 countermeasures. I hope that it starts to paint a picture. And the way that we play this, I'm going to use 10 flares, 38 chaff. But don't forget to turn off your MAW, because your plane is going to start shitting out its countermeasures all on its own. And you don't want this to happen because we don't have much to begin with. My reason for bringing so little flares is that if you get that close, you're probably going to die anyway. But I do want to have the ability to flare 1, maybe 2 AIM-9Ms, because they do have the suspension tracking. You need to drop multiple over a prolonged period of time. So you might be able to flare 2, probably just 1. Luckily, there isn't that many planes that run those missiles. Well, there's a lot of planes that run those missiles, but most people don't actually run them. We just want to stay at arm's length. We don't really want to get into the mix with multiple people, and we don't want to get into the mix into just the middle of the map. So I decided to go left a little bit, hold back, play the flank and just kind of wait for the game to play out. And then we start reaching the middle and see if we can pick anyone off. In this kind of position, the plane is good, but you do want to be careful because the RWR has a massive dead zone. And this is normal on the flankers, but it's something you need to be aware of because chaffing stuff last second is just a little bit of an issue. Now, luckily, we do have large caliber countermeasures, so we don't have to spam them nearly as much. You need to be aware of this, that you don't need to drop as many as you do with regular chaff. So you can just kind of drop them at like 1 second intervals, which is more than sufficient. Now here we reach the middle of the map, we get our 5th kill, and then we just dive away. And the first F-15 starts to show its head. I'm going a lot quicker. I'm about 5 kilometers away. And for now, I am simply going to leave. If he launches a missile at me, it's not really within a good range. We are in very thick air. I'm going 1570 kilometers an hour. And I should be able to stretch this out and potentially run it into that little mountain. Now we have my teammates coming in. He's going to be diving on the F-15. The issue is that I don't have many flares. I only have 3 missiles left, and I do want to help out my teammate. But by the time I turn around to re-engage, there's 3 people on 3 different locations, and I just kind of get my, my thing stretched out. So we get absolutely clapped, and then we do the exact same thing. We go to the left, and we just kind of wait for the flank to happen. And yes, most of my games didn't go particularly well. I'm sitting on the 31% win rate, which is one of the lowest on my entire stat card. Is it completely the fault of my teams every time? No, I definitely had a part to play. I could have won a couple more games that I managed to lose. But goddamn, is playing a plane that is extremely limited by mainly the countermeasures an absolute pain in the dick when your team is just incredibly bad. You can't really push in. You need to wait for their team to kind of reach you. Bit of an issue when there's 7 guys running at you at the same time. So here we notice a Typhoon trying to flank underneath us. I'm going to shove an PL-8 up his ass. He's going to try to multi-pad it, but it doesn't really work because it's an IR missile. It only gives me a hit, but he is completely toast. And that is going to be kill number 3 in relatively rapid succession. Now, our team is looking to be pretty decent, but there is somehow an F-15 right over here. So we get him in the gimbal limit. It's not quite 120 degrees, but it's about 70, which is okay, I guess. But no data linking mid-notch, but it doesn't matter because the F-15E is a fat bitch anyway, and at that kind of range, he is not looking to notch that stuff point blank. And then I just want to very quickly talk about the radar change, which is fantastic. Now I still need to set up my key so I can actually click on the radar panel. I'm going to do that next, but I've been a little bit busy and I just haven't really thought about it. But knowing what's coming your way and actually seeing on the radar screen if there's a missile coming your way, if it's a plane, if it's a friendly, it's great because now you can actually tell what the hell is going on. It's fantastic. Now, it does make the Iron Dome strategy a little bit more feasible, which is rather annoying, but I can't say that I never use it myself. You saw it in the previous game, I think, that I just shot the missile out of the air because I didn't feel confident that I was going to notch it. Now, here we are in a pretty good position. Again, we are at a relatively low range, and then we're actually able to push in a little bit because the flight model is good enough. Once you are past that painful range of about 25 kilometers, you are able to cook a little bit. Now, if they start actually BVRing you and start slinging at you from across the map, it's kind of annoying because you have to keep defending and they can just keep on pushing as they drop countermeasures for days. Is it all bad? No, definitely not. If you read between the lines, you heard me say a couple of good things. We have 4 PL-8s, we have PL-12s, and we have 12 of them. We have a good flight model, we have pretty strong engines, and overall the kit is very respectable. It's just a shame that a plane that's reliant on ECM to just get this little countermeasures and not have the actual countermeasure that it's made to have. They should compensate it a little bit. I think that it's completely fair. Even if it's just like 30%, give it a little bit extra. If we can give the F5 extra countermeasures, I think we can give something like this, some extra countermeasures. Also, some of you guys were asking if I was fine, whatever, someone drove into the back of my car. Yes, looked a little bit more dramatic than it actually is, because I'm completely fine. The rear bumper completely tanked the hit. I'm insured. No, I'm not asking for donations, because I don't need them. This is my hobby. This is my issue. And overall, most of it is insured. The exhaust tips and the carbon diffuser probably aren't. But, you know, it is what it is. It's the risk of the hobby. I just overall haven't been very happy with how I handled the patch. Normally I'm on it and I drop like 5 videos in 5 days. But with my work right now, I'm just really not able to. And I hope that I'm not too late at this point. J-15T, overall, solid plane with a pretty big Achilles heel that basically makes this plane mid at best. And there is one more thing that this thing is very bad at, and that's, well, multipathing. The issue with the flankers is that this plane is massive, and even though you might be under 60 meters, under 30 meters, a lot of the time when you're playing this thing, a missile is still going to proxy somewhere near you and blow your shit smooth.